This is the Fierce Heart Alliance, featuring the Harmonic Virtues, a self-reflective practice to understand virtues based on the laws of the universe, ancient teachings, and channeled wisdom. We can apply these virtues to everyday life to fully participate in our personal evolution by cultivating resiliency, purpose, and harmony through self-awareness and self-stewardship. Hi, I'm Summer Sophia Moon, and I've come here to heal myself and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. So join me and my special guests as we share and learn how to love ourselves fiercely through self-care, explore the wisdom of the harmonic virtues, and grow our conscious community together. By listening, you are now a fierce heart too. Welcome to the Fierce Heart Alliance. Before we begin today's topic, I'd like to say thank you to our listeners. You're always welcome here. Thank you to our ancestors, spirit guides, and friends who are assisting us today. May these words be a force for good and timelessly infused with light and held in the frequency of rose quartz and spread healing and peace around the world. May it connect to both our consciousness and unconsciousness for the highest and most benevolent outcomes for all. If there's any words left unsaid, we trust in spirit to make things right and let it gently ease into our consciousness as necessary for understanding in our own time, in our own way. And so it is. Thank you. Hey Fierce Hearts, today is our self-care episode. This month is the virtue of love, so we're focusing on how we can combine the virtue of love with self-care. Today, my guest is Kathryn Lafond. Kathryn is known for her love of prayer, song, and ceremony, is devoted to helping us remember the sacred in everyday life. For over 25 years, she has served her community as an intuitive energy healer, health coach, spiritual guide, teacher of plant medicine, and author of Seasoned with Gratitude, 250 recipes and blessings celebrating the greater nourishment of real food. You can connect with her and buy her beautiful book at KathrynLafond.com. Welcome, Kathryn. Thank you, Kathryn, for being with us. And my first question is, what is meaningful about self-care, and how does it relate to spirituality?
Self-care is such a critical importance because it is actually knowing ourselves, in my understanding of it. And the more we know ourselves, of course, the closer we are to understanding why we're here in the first place, the purpose for being on this planet. Self-care is a precious piece that I have taught at different times in my life, and I find that it changes over the course of living. One thing that's really important might not be 10 years from now, and we start looking at our lives differently.
Wonderful. Well said. Very well said. So our first self-care suggestion is where we've been talking about love and the different kinds of love. And the self-care suggestion is a mantra that says, I do blank because I love myself. And for me, I do meal prep because I love myself. And it may not be, pretty. I mean, food can be very beautiful, as you know, but it is one of those foundational self-cares that are self-care ideas that I do for myself, because that is me showing myself love. And as you know, nourishment is life, it's health, it's everything. And so that is me loving myself. And when I have a healthy meal throughout the week, I know that I am set up for success. And so what is something that you do because you love yourself?
I like that. I check in regularly because I love myself. And one of the ways, what that might mean to me is practicing an emergency first aid, we might call it. It comes from the Wise Woman ways, and it's a check, call, and care. So the first thing is checking in. So I'll ask myself if I'm hurting anywhere, and if I have been have I been listening to it, or have I been masking something through alcohol or food or shopping? So I want to check in with the messages my body's been sending, and also be truthful, like, have I gained weight? Have I lost weight? Have I been sleeping okay? That kind of check in. As the second part is asking myself, who do I need to call if I do need to call, such as an ND or a chiropractor or a massage therapist, or an energy healer, dentist. It can be innumerable people. The third part of that is caring, and it's like caring for self. Here we're back at the self-care again, in the sense of acknowledging, let's just sit and breathe, or make sure I've had enough water today, or acknowledge that I need a nap. A nap would be wonderful in that moment. So there's many, many ways, but checking in. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And that's such a great point. And we could just be so busy that we just push past so many things. But if we listen to the little voices of, like, I'm a little thirsty, I'm a little hungry, maybe I should take care of that. Yeah, wonderful. So the next self-care suggestion is to revel in the ecstasy of pleasures. And so love can be many things and pleasure can be many things, but it doesn't have to be sexual in nature. It could be the texture of crushed velvet. It could be the smell of your favorite candle. It could be crisp sheets against your body, or a type of fabric across your body, or a type of jewelry, or a type of food that you really enjoy the flavor and the texture and whatnot. So my question for you is, what is some of the small joys that you have in your life?
Well,
Or
one
sensory
is
joys?
bathing. Yeah, bathing. I love just having a good hot bath, soaking in Epsom salts, and throwing on my favorite podcast while I'm doing so. Um, a second one would be really reveling in the smells of the season, so that when I'm out on a walk, I'm aware of the seasonality, and also what nature might be sharing with me. So really reveling in the smells and the visuals of the season that I'm in. Hugely important to me.
Wonderful. Something that I thought of, that a point about reveling in the ecstasy and small pleasures and whatnot, that's a really easy way for us to get present. And we could get unconscious and we're driving, we're on autopilot, or we're going through all these menial tasks that we've just done 1,000 times maybe, and we've totally shifted off consciousness. And a way to get back into our body and to be present, I think, is to check in, as you were saying, with those senses. And I do that with music, of what can I hear, what can I feel, and that just really helps me ground back into my body. And even if I'm stressed out, I try to do those sorts of things, and that way I can get back into me and have a little bit more perspective. Wonderful.
I
Okay.
think one of the avenues that I tend to forget sometimes is asking for help. That also is one of the gifts that it exists at all times, and we tend to forget that can be of true kindness to oneself.
That's a really great point. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's kind of a segue into our next one, is what is a simple act that shows others that you love them?
Ah, I am finding more and more that when I'm in conversation with someone, whether it's on the phone or it's in person, but when it's time to say goodbye, it's just flowing out of my mouth now, and I'll say, "Love you. I love you. I'm so appreciative of you." Um, just allowing that open-heartedness to be stated. I think that could bring me to tears at times because I'll hear myself say it and know that it's real.
And I'm sure the receiver can feel that authenticity of it as well.
Hopefully.
That's wonderful. And so the final question and self-care suggestion to contemplate is what love languages can you do for yourself? And so I'm going to extend the same question to you. Like, are there certain love languages that you receive love from yourself?
To not be afraid to touch my own body, hands over heart, or, the embrace of my own shoulders. So from a personal standpoint, that love language of just telling my body, I love you. If I hurt it, if I bang my arm going through a doorway or something, to just give it that extra attention so that the many layers of intelligences that this body is hears that caring from me. I think that's something I'm getting more and more aware of as the years pass.
That's wonderful. Yeah, words of affirmation are just, and the quality touch and even touch itself, I think is another language of sorts. I would say I feel acts of service and gifts. I'll buy myself gifts sometimes. And I think of buying a nice hand soap or a body wash without toxic additives or whatnot, and knowing that that's helping me, and it's I like doing little things like that. And yeah, there's so many things that we can do, and I think we think of love languages as outside of ourselves. So what can we do for others? And I like to turn it in and say, okay, what kind of love languages can I do for myself? And I think that's important as well.
I forget about that. That too is one of the things, and at times it'll be in the line of food. I'll say, this is a gift. I don't need to wait for a special occasion. Today, this gift is for me.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, Kathryn, so what are some self-care suggestions that you have for us today?
I would say have a song in your heart. I have been singing earth-based songs for 35, 40 years. And being in group with other women, I find that surrounding myself with women who are in tune with themselves is really important. And often those groups will include singing of some sort, but singing is just it's really self-care for me. It's like often I'll find that there is a song, a mantra going on in my body, and it wants to be sung out. And what a gift it is to just let it roll. I mean, doesn't have to be in the car with the radio full blast. It can be while you're moving around the house or in the middle of the woods, to just sing out. And I'm also willing to make up songs just to let the universe know how much I love it. So, yeah, I think that's an important self-care piece.
That's great. That's absolutely wonderful. Well, do you feel complete?
I am. I think the only other thing that I had on this in my thoughts were that I call in a circle of love often, and it can be people I know that have passed, that have been in my heart. It can be animals that have been in my heart. I learned this from my friend Jamal Rahman, who is a Sufi Ayman at the Interfaith Church in Ballard in Seattle. But just keeping on my lips that sense of there's a circle of love that's always here to support me. It's been a huge gift when I'm feeling despair, when I'm feeling like there's not enough support from the world. I remember the unseen circle of love that I hold in my heart. And what a enormous gift that is to me. So thank you for asking me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. And that's I can definitely feel the weight of that. So thank you so much for sharing that. Well, that's our episode for this week. Thank you, Kathryn, so much for imparting all of your wisdom. For our listeners, feel free to leave any comments you might have about your experience with self-care. I'd love to hear what you're inspired to do for yourself. Please like and subscribe. It helps this podcast more than you know. And you're always welcome to follow the Fierce Heart Alliance on Facebook and Instagram for weekly inspiration. Next week is our charity episode featuring the Equal Justice Initiative. Take care, Fierce Hearts. Till next time.